is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys like the Super Bowl. Got to watch it. I was out late last night. I was climbing all the street poles in Philly. So it was just to not even because I'm not an Eagles fan, but it was just something to do. So not bad, not bad, fun times. But I hope you guys are doing good. Surviving the markets. Looks like we are getting a little bit of a bounce. Ahmed's in the house. What's up, Ahmed? Joe? What is happening? I think I said a name wrong every time. I apologize. We got Albert. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Anna. Jenny's in the house. Good morning to you, Brad, Jeff, Jeffrey, Keith, Kevin. Good morning to Lauren, Malik. Good morning to Marius, Martina, Tim coming in bright and early. All my people out in YouTube land. Leonard, good morning to you. Mustafa, good morning. He's saying silver and metal. Leonard says, so glad TOS did an update. Now I can't get on. Yeah, mine took a long time to download today, to upload or whatever it is. I'm not sure. Was it an update? It took forever to log in. Like I literally walked away, got coffee, came back. It was still trying to update. So I don't know. I guess they did do something. Real virtual demand. What is happening? All right. So we got SPY. A little bit of a gap up on the SPY. Not bad. Into a little bit of resistance. Again, we kind of were looking decent 2 trading days ago, Thursday. Nice little close. I was expecting maybe a little pullback, looking for some kind of support around 605. Then I think we started having some more tariff talks come in, and we just kept on plummeting down. I think Trump over the weekend was saying there's he's looking for 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel coming in from outside the U.S. as well. So I think the market, crypto space was kind of dying a little bit over the weekend. I think they started rallying back as well, but SPY, we do have a nice little gap up into this resistance. So see if we could, what should have held, I think, on Friday, 604.93, the spot I was looking for to kind of boost us up and get us out of there. That absolutely just fell through when the bottom opened up. But look for that for the resistance for today. So somewhere we'll call it 605, but 604.93. To the downside, we are above some decent support. So 604.21. The next one down is 603.07. And then unfortunately, if we have to retest yesterday's or Friday's VPOC, that would take us back into the $600.99 zone. So we will see. I think maybe some Michigan consumer sentiment numbers were coming out on Friday as well. But I don't know. CPI is this week. So this will probably be a big week. I don't know how CPI is. I kind of get the feeling it's going to be hot. I don't know. Why do I have the random feeling? I think eggs are $27 an egg. So I don't know how much that's going to weigh into the overall factor. Gas, I think, is kind of low. But again, gas is not going to affect the core numbers. So we'll have to see how that comes in. I have a strange feeling that comes in hot. I hope I'm wrong for the bull's sake, but I don't know. Otherwise, that's the zones I'm watching for. We're just inside this big gold sell-off candle. If we could start getting above, and so I don't think I'd want to be as bullish at open, but if we can start getting above the 605, that could set us up for a decent move. I'd have to look at Friday's opening price as the next resistance, 606.94, also lines up with the VPOC, and if we get through it, maybe that could get us into 608.88. But again, the fact that we're capturing, this is probably about the 618 open of this candle as well. But the fact that we're up there, pretty decent for the bulls. Just got to be a little concerned about some of that resistance that we're just running directly into at this point. The Qs chart looks a little bit better. This is kind of the chart that I wanted to see on the SPY. SPY was getting there, and yeah, big old pullback. Again, we could have held some of these other levels. This 527.90, wherever it is, 527.78, could have held 525.74, and then the one we kind of almost held, not even really, is 523.82. So we didn't really hold any of those previous levels. We are opening right into that resistance as well, slightly at. I don't think we're above it. Yeah, we're just like right on the money on that. But I like this chart a little bit better than the SPY, where this is the retest I'm looking for. Now, if we get a little bit higher than 527.89, that would give us a strong push. I think the 530.25, and the bigger resistance is 532.09 until you got to get all the way up to like this 535.77. So this chart out of a pen and pattern looks a lot healthier. SPY's right back into that pennant pattern, and it's got to just get round two to get up there. So we'll see. TLT, uh, essentially flat. We are above. All right, we're hanging in there. We're above Friday's VPOC, so that's decent. Still inside day candle, so maybe we don't get too much activity, but otherwise, I'd throw a little edge to the bull direction, and you got targets up to like 89, 84 on that one, so maybe get a little bit of recovery on that. Let's take a look. So we said silver. Let's check out gold and silver real quick. Again, so these are going to be Mustafa said silver and metals, but you have gold gapping up. So really nice jump up, gap and go on gold. It's been running essentially since December, mid-December. This is a safety play. This is a hedge against inflation. And again, we do have CPI coming out this week too. So I don't maybe I'm not the only one that's thinking that that number comes in a little bit hot. But you do have a little flight to safety in terms of gold. Silver probably gotta spell that correctly. Silver an ounce we'll go with, but this is of CFDs. Otherwise, silver's just kind of hanging out, usually lags gold a little bit, but even this one from December 30th, yeah, it had a nice little push. So the push is kind of continue. We were up at 52-week highs, I believe. Maybe not 52-week highs. Not 52-week highs, but we've been on a decent path for some of these. And then again, TLT, gold, silver are all telling us that there's some people really concerned still about the overall inflation, maybe market in general. The market don't care. Market is gapping and going today, but gold looks like a pretty decent gap actually. You got ANET. ANET is chilling, nice little gap up. It is a retest gap. There was obviously some bears that came in at the highs of yesterday, pushed this thing down. So maybe some people trapped on this one. I don't think too many. I'd watch for that resistance 121.68. If you could get above that, really solid move. The next psychological spot would be the opening of this candle, which would take us to about 126.19 with true targets somewhere around 128.93. So let's get ANET a little bit higher on the list. This is fun. They messed my chart up. I can't even see the tickers on the side. Hold on a second. There's got to be a way to reduce this. Yeah, let's do this. Did the trading view update too? Because I was like, man, I can't even see any tickers on the side. But yeah, ANET looks good. We'll keep that on the high end of the list. I'm not sure about volume, but pretty decent gap. I think I'd want to wait to see if we get a little pullback. Next little support on this one. 120.51. So let's at least get to that. And maybe we get all the way down for full retest 118.75. But anything above that level, I'm game to play, especially maybe a pop and quick little high wave candle, something like that could be decent. Tim says yours finally loading for TOS. Yeah, yeah, Lucian. My TOS. There's been some reports. My TOS was the same. Give it a good 3 hours, that thing is going to be up and running like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. It's going to be solid. You're going to miss half the trading day, but that's okay. At least it will run fast when nobody else wants to trade. You got Oracle. That is also nice little gap up. A little bit more gap and go. A little bit more of a gap and go. Key resistance on this one, we've got to get past is 178.78. So same situation. We are running into a little bit of ozone, a little bit of a defense, more like the Eagles had, not so much the Chiefs. But yeah, good defense coming in very soon. 178.78. If we could get through that, probably next stop on this one would take us to 182.19, where you get some consolidation. Otherwise, you got your targets, I would imagine, back to 184.85. But either way, good room on that one. If it can do just a little bit more in this market, though, can it? Wendy's coming in with a good old Palantir. And I see Tessie next. Uh, Palantir, I don't know. What do you want to do with this thing? It's not massively. I think it's got a lot of momentum still in a bullish direction. My question is, how does it have so much momentum? Like it is crazy, but besides that, still looks good. It kind of opening no man's land at this point. So you do have your next resistance at least 113.94. Your support down to 107.83. You're opening a little bit close to the resistance than you are to the support. Technically a gap and go, just inside day candle. I'd have to. I mean, I have no choice but to just give the advantage to the Bulls on this one. Would love to see this thing pull back. Yeah, that's never going to happen. So if it does magically, yeah, somewhere around this 108 zone, we'll call it, but somewhere right around there would be your spot to try it. I think on a normal stock, that's what I would do. This one, again, if you're going to take it, you're going to have to assume for really good risk reward here that you could break through this 113.75. If you don't think that could happen, you're probably going to stay away from this one bullish. And then it's Palantir, so it's a no-brainer that it will just absolutely break through every resistance possible because it's just what it does. It's just fun. All right. Mo says Tesla rebound any day, Danny. Uh Not from the looks of it. It is still rough. So here's how you play Tesla. It's very easy. I've learned it. You just don't go bullish on Tesla. Same would go for the AMD as well. And both of them I kind of like a little bit. Tesla, I don't think I'd be touching yet. For today, your next support is 356.73. Your support after that is 352.18. Strong downtrend. This is a retest gap. You might have some shorts trying to cover. This is definitely got to be some shorts in here. So some shorts might be trying to recover and close out, lock some gains. I still see a little bit of a gap all the way down to like 340. I think that is very plausible. But with the amount of strength, and we had a good consolidation, they had a chance to break out. They didn't. Friday actually had a good retest right into the bottom of that channel. Rejected, strong close, no wick. Um, I would be very careful spending money, putting money into something like Tesla at this point, even for like a long-term, like dollar cost average. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd be able to really start here. If things are just absolutely plummeting, right, and the strength is just so momentous to the downside, and it's doing something completely different again than the rest of the market. This is a tough downtrend to fight. So I don't know. Maybe they do get a bounce, but I would almost wait for that bounce to happen. Show some strength first, then pull back, and then look to go. Otherwise, this is the type of stock, this is the type of zone that you get into where you're just trying to catch falling knives and you're just bag holding on Tesla. So I'd be very cautious of just buying dips. For a day trade, maybe we get something if it's off a good level. But for swing trades, I don't think I could play this one bullish yet. I'd almost want to just give up $30 of gains and then try to get in when it's the momentum is actually flipping on this thing. Because I have zero. I mean, I really wouldn't be shocked if we see a 250 print at some point in the next 12 months. We'll say. Like I think that could happen. This is a very very big pullback. I think there's going to be some setups that look really, really good, and it's going to be tough to fight those bears at this point, I think. So my preferred way on Tesla for today would be to the bear side. Obviously, gap and go. I'm not going to short at open, but maybe if it comes up a little bit higher, that might be one to consider. AMD is just an absolute another one, and this is kind of that same trend. We're maybe over here on Tesla's chart. Big downtrends. Everything just absolutely bearish. Report was good. Everything I think was decent. It doesn't matter when the stock's getting clobbered. It's not in favor. It's just not in favor. It's very very tough to come back. Same thing with AMD. If you are trying to buy AMD, I think I think if the long term you're buying it 10 years from now, I think you're fine. Right? I don't think this one goes to zero. I think it's going to have some spots. If you start dollar cost averaging longer term, fine. But I think that this downtrend is just so powerful Where again, can we see $95? Can we see 80? Can we see 75? I don't know, right? I have no idea. I think it is a good value, but it doesn't mean it's time to buy. So we'll see what happens. But it is getting a gap and go today. And again, the better way to play this one is just give up some of the potential upside. I know we're trained to just say, okay, it's something really low, I want to buy it. But if it's for a trade purpose, a swing trade purpose, a position build, something other besides like just long term buy and hold type situation, this could get a lot worse before it could get better. So I'd almost wait for this to happen, and I know I'm not going to be buying it at the absolute lows, but let this thing come in, shoot up $10, then pull back, and then play this one, right? Attempt it here as opposed to just buying dips down here. So again, AMD very weak, not a great close on still inside day on Friday, so that hung in that Wednesday candle. But even VPOC was lower. Also, we used the previous VPOC perfectly as some type of resistance. So for today, we are opening right into Thursdays, which we should not have really got down if there was any strength in this thing. But that'd be 108.35. I think I'd have to look at that as some kind of resistance, see how this thing opens. But I think to the short side, your next support on this one, 107.61, something like that. And then just with all that bearish momentum, we start breaking out of this. I think your next level to the downside is probably a little bit closer to 101, 102. We shall see. But yeah, probably would still look to continue to play this one to the short side if possible. All right, let's see. We got Baba on the list. Let's see. Crazy Baba. What are you doing? Ah, see, that looks different. That one looks good. We've already had that momentum shift. The momentum shift came here. Yeah, and this got I held all the way through because it's just long term for me. But like as a trade, what stocks were going up during this point? Like Tesla, Nvidia, still not AMD, Palantir, of course. But every stock gave you opportunities to make lots and lots of money. Holding through this as a swing trade, that's a rough hold, right? Everything else is going up, and you're just kind of flat or slightly up. But long term is long term, so it's different. But if I was looking for a swing trade and my targets were maybe a little bit higher, and I had to sit through all of this while everybody else is making money, where I could maybe be up 20%, 30% on Nvidia, now take that money and then reinvest that into Baba at a higher price, but I'm still in a better position. So we'll see. But otherwise, good gap and go. Friday was a retrace gap. We are above that VPOC. We are heading into a little bit of resistance here. Let's see if we get above it. Next target for me would take me to about 110.64. I think that's going to be a strong one. If we get past it, I think eventually we're back to this 116.88 zone. Good volume that came in on Friday, and it is a little reversal candle. So the fact that the bulls are saying it's not time to reverse, that's a good sign for Baba. So let's see. Get that one a little bit higher on the list. Is Baba the only Chinese stock moving, or do we have Baidu as well? Baidu, a little bit of a gap up. You got your 200 approaching. Probably targets to this one about 92.88. If you can get above that one, you got 95.77. PDD. PDD looks good. I think that's my favorite Chinese stock of the day. It is a little bit of a retest gap, but maybe a little consolidation. I kind of like where we're opening. Yep, I want to stay above 117.72. If we start breaking that down, maybe a little, not strong support, but a little support probably around 116.98. And then you do have strong support around 116.20. Otherwise, to the upside, that's where your room is. That's going to take you to about 120.57 if it does hit the gas pedal on that one. JD as well. What's JD doing? Yeah, this one, not it's got obviously a ton of room, probably targets into like 44.17. That being said, you do have to pile through a little bit more resistance, I think. So next resistance on this one, 41.68. I think you get 41.76, and then I think you have probably target for today, 42.15. And then if we could get up there and maybe tomorrow open above it, that would put 42.89 in sights and back to these other 43, 44 zones. But not bad. Good momentum, good gap and go. Edge to the bulls. Not bad. CLF. CLF is solid gap and go. Still inside of the candle, so I would wait to see if this one gets a little pullback. Probably into or as close as possible to $10.60. See if the bulls on second try could get through that top of that wick. That top of the wick ran right into almost the previous resistance, $10.99. If that can break, it's got a lot of room on this thing up to $11.80. So a full dollar on a $10, $11 stock is not bad. Yeah, we'll get this one higher on the list. If this one pulls back, I like it a lot. Especially if we get like a small, tighter setup on it. Not bad. LMT. Yeah, Lucky and Martin. Here's another one just kind of nosediving a little bit. That is still a dangerous gap. I am looking for this one for the long term. I do like it. I do like it, but we're just not out of that downtrend quite yet. And we're getting to a scary spot, which we essentially closed at. I think if we start breaking down Friday's candle, the next spot would take us into like this 434 zone and then ultimately to like 427. I think valuation, you're right around fair value on this one. I got fair value somewhere around 451, I think it was. So I think you are getting a slightly better deal. I think valuation is here on this one. It doesn't mean it's not coming lower, but interesting spot to start to DCA for at least a long term. You're planning on building out positions on LMTs. Not a, I don't think you're overpaying for it. That being said, for day trade purpose, you're going to have 447.97 and 448.20 as some kind of resistance, strong downtrend. I think I'd want to play this one as a fade to the lower side for today on a day trade basis. But valuation's starting to look a little good. LMD, LMND, lemonade. Uh, Starting to get some momentum, good consolidation, not bad. VPOX in the right place. You got support from Friday still inside day candle. So if we get a pullback, 36.80 would be your entry spot on pullback. And then you do have, I'm gonna put a little asterisk next to this one. You got resistance at 38.34, but we were pretty much there on Friday. So if we could take out the high end of that, maybe your next target for today, 39.18. But I would prefer to wait, see if I get that pullback first. I think we do. First level, I think, of support, maybe we get held at if it's not a full-on retest, would be 37.41. Otherwise, yeah, then it's full on retest. But if that one could bounce back a little bit, that's starting to look a little interesting as well. Get that one higher up on the list. I'll put it after Cliff. All right, SCHW and then MBLY. Schwab. So that's technically a retest gap from Friday. However, Friday was an inside candle of Thursday, so I think that it probably acts a little bit more bearish. Gap and go to the bear side or the bad side if you're bullish, I guess. Really good. What should have been support somewhere around this 81.79. They did try it over here. We're under that. I would see if you get a small little bounce into that 81.71, and then I think you have some room to the downside on this one. Probably not huge, $80.80, and that's also going to line up essentially with that 20-day EMA as well. But I think that looks a little bit weaker unless you start getting back above this 81.75 zone. And then specifically above 82.03, I wouldn't touch it in the bear direction. Otherwise, for right now, small little bounce, and I think that's ready to go to the bear side. I don't know about like a huge breakdown on it. It doesn't seem like it's there yet, but uh, we'll have to monitor that one. MBLY. Mobileye. Uh, an interesting gap. Again, targets, you got a lot of resistance all the way up. That's a lot of volume. Is that really people buying or more or less covering shorts? This one seems a little bit all over the place. I don't know how this one's going to day trade. You do have a good gap and go. I guess stretch targets for today were probably about $19.39. It's a little all over the place. Just randomly makes big candles and bounces back. Volume coming in all sorts of weird places. My guess would be probably a little spready, but I think advantage to the Bulls. I don't know if I'd want to take this one unless we had a bigger pullback. I don't even honestly, I don't even know where I'd want that pullback to be. For me, I'm going to stay away from this one. This is a confusing looking chart to me. You got 1788. Maybe you find some support there. Otherwise, I think your best spot to try if you could get it is closer to about 1719. That's a strange looking chart. SMCI, I don't know. You gotta wait till tomorrow after the bell. So right now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 days of people buying. If you think the accounting is good, we will know earnings tomorrow. Earnings tomorrow, and then they're going to give us an update about what's going on with their books. If the books look okay, this will probably absolutely have an amazing day tomorrow after the bell into Wednesday morning, and then we'll have to see how far of a gap it is. If there's any questions into that, into the books at all, this will also have probably a decent gap Tuesday into Wednesday, and then we just have to see how far that gap down is. And I don't know if that gap down, if it is a gap down based off of like, yeah, we still don't trust the numbers, that's going to be very difficult to recover from. So for SMCI's sake, I hope that is some decent positivity coming out. But if any gap above 49.14, but they will be releasing some info, so you could set your positions now. Take a stab. I would treat it like you're betting on the Super Bowl, and it would be a gamble going into it. Otherwise, after hours, as soon as that news comes out, if you can get it quickly, you might be able to still make a play in that direction for which way it wants to go. So it might be a after hours type play too. Uber for today though, bullish momentum, a little bit of a retest gap. Uber, nice little breakout last 2 days. I would love to see a mini pullback on this one. Doesn't seem like it's happening quite yet, but look for support around 75.28. Stretch target is 79.65. Other than that, everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. But that was